Guys, deluded you. Now, Krystian Beliek. Now, I've told you, Beliek, however you want to say it. Now, I've told you guys when I spoke to an Arsenal scout, I do not have no links to Arsenal, but I know when you know people who know people and you're like me, you loves football, you get to know people, people gravitate towards you. Long story short, he said the club were, this was 2 years ago, very confident about Beliek. And you can kind of claim they're backed up every preseason. You see him, he looked promising this preseason, he looked promising last preseason. He constantly stands out for the youth side. He's even captain. He reminds me of a young Mertesacker in the sense that he's a bit quicker than Mertesacker, but he's an intelligent defender. He's good in the air. He was an ex-centre mid, defensive mid, whatever you want to call it. So he can bring the ball out. He can carry the ball out from the defence. Obviously, to play for Arsenal, that is one of the main things. Somewhat, we don't even care about the basics to a degree as a defender. If you can ball play and whatnot, you have a chance here. When you consider three at the back and he's played as a centre mid and centre half, there's so much promise on top of being a centre half and being a very good footballer in my opinion, and his technical qualities and being a tough tackler and composed and bringing the ball out. He can I just said it basically, bringing the ball out from defence. He can step into from defence into midfield, from midfield back into defence, and he'll have no problems. And that's a key thing as when you play three at the back, because as a defender in a free formation, yes, it's technically five if you count the wing backs or wingers, but you have to want to show on the ball. If you're not going to want to show on the ball, there's already not four of you. So if you get pressed from the front, quickly going to get picked apart, not going to be able to feed your strikers or your midfielders, and they're going to be isolated. And you 9 times out of 10 you're going to lose. Palmed out on loan in January, I believe, made 10 appearances for Birmingham, playing three at the back, ironically, and earning some plaudits. I thought he would stay there for this year. There was talk of going to Frankfurt. Frankfurt have said it's too early for him. He's probably not at the level for Bundesliga. I don't agree with that, but from their point of view, you can understand it. I mean, I do not know for them, but you'd like to think mid-table / avoiding relegation is what they need. It's somewhat a doghouse. They're probably looking for someone with a bit more of a richer CV, more experience, more pedigree, and with all of that in mind, can they really afford to care about giving a 19-year-old who's made 10 senior appearances in England? He obviously played Carling for us. He played five professional games in his homeland for the first team. Can they really afford to pin all their hopes on him unless he's an exceptional talent? Well, he's a talent, but when I say exceptional, I mean you look at young Varane and them things there, them sort of guys. They can't. So you can kind of get why. There was talk of a two-year loan spell on the basis that Bundesliga is one of the top leagues in top European leagues. I was all for it, but I'd want him to stay in England if he can get a Brighton in the Premier League or Fulham in the Championship, or even go back to Birmingham. You could play there and you could get games. The main thing for him is just to become experienced, to remain concentrated, because both pre-seasons you've seen him lapse in concentration. He's 19 turning 20 and he's been around for a while, so the concentration aspect, the being composed at all times, the over 90 minutes, whether it's the first or last, keeping the quality, keeping the standards, even the stamina of the game. He's still growing into it and he's still showing signs. He's probably not at the level to command a first team appearance, and he's probably a bit behind the others, but he's definitely good enough to hang around the squad. I'd like him to go on loan, but I'd also like him to stay. I mean, I've got a lot of time for Bielik, to be honest with you. Like I said, Germany, it's a decent loan on the basis of that, but I mean, I wanted him to stay in England, if I'm honest with you, at an English club. But yeah, guys, there's not much more to say on that. You'd like to think the next 18 months for Bielik is crucial in the sense that Koscielny's 31, turning 32. His days are numbered. BFG's going to retire after this season. Mustafi's obviously here to stay. Gabriel's future's up for doubt. Chambers sadly doesn't look like he's going to get to make it here. I mean, holding Bielik and Mustafi in his prime, that's some back three in the future. Or even if I don't want us to write off Chambers. I hope Chambers is in with the mix. But either way, it looks like Bielik's going to have a long-term future here. In the short term, he needs to go and get games. Prefer him to stay in the Championship. If we can get a Premier League loan, then yeah, of course. Even look at Villa. I mean, he can go to Villa, play under John Terry. I mean, I ain't got to explain to you why John Terry's a very good centre-half and a seasoned pro. He could learn a lot. He would play a lot of games. Anoma's there from Spurs, so they're clearly a team that's going to give young players an opportunity to impress themselves if they show what they're on. So yeah, guys, Deluded Goon, I'm signing out. There's not much more to say on that front, to be honest with you. Thank you for watching. Get in the comments.